Hey, good morning. So I wanted to make sure I got that in the camera there. I wanted to teach you how to make this block today. We talked a little bit last week and I told you I had a fun block that would be easy for you to make and suitable for charm squares. So if you have a charm pack, and golly, do I have a charm pack? I have a few. I have a few charm packs. Probably you do too. So what I've done is I've gone through and I picked out a couple charm packs that had Christmas fabrics in it. And we are going to put together this block. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to use a couple of random fabrics here. Let's see. How about this? And maybe this one over here, this green. Okay, so I'm going to use these two fabrics, and I will need, for this block, two background fabrics. These are 5 inches, 5-inch charm packs, a 5-inch background square. You can use charms. If you have light and dark charms, you can use those. You don't have to buy separate background fabric. I just wanted to do something that had a little sparkle in it for Christmas, and I like the Michael Miller Fairy Frost is a pretty fabric. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is and I'm gonna try to get this in here so it's showing up for you. We're gonna lay this down, and I'm gonna grab a marking pen here. I threw everything in my bag on Monday at our Monday Fun Day and hadn't got it out yet. So what you're gonna do, and you don't have to mark this, I'm just marking this to show you. You're gonna stitch 1/4 inch down this side, and you're gonna stitch a 1/4 inch down this side, okay? And I hope you can see that all right. So I'm just going to do that real quick on my machine here. This is a wonderful quilt for you to be able to chain piece. You do not need to do these one at a time like I'm doing them. Chain piecing is really a great option for this. Okay. Okay. So we've stitched down both sides there. And the next thing that we're going to do with this is, there's my ruler and my rotary cutter. You know how I fling them around. We are going to mark 2.5 inches over, and we're going to cut that with our rotary cutter. And then we are going to open this up. Go ahead and finger press your piece open. Just like that. You should have 2 pieces that look like that now, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn one around, and then we're going to put them right sides together, and we're going to nest that seam, okay? Now I like to put a little pin in when I nest a seam. You don't have to. If you feel comfortable doing that without a pin, you go right ahead. We're going to take a 1/4 inch seam right down that side. Again, you can chain piece these. So you're going to go to the opposite side, and you're going to line that up, nest those seams, and stitch a 1/4 inch. Okay, so we've done that part. Now we're going to take our ruler again, and we are going to measure 2.5 inches over, and we're going to cut. Okay, and then that gives us, if I cut all the way through the fabric, that will give us 2 4 patches. So if you have to make a lot of 4 patches, that's quick and easy. And I will press these real quick for you. So it's been raining here the last couple days, today and yesterday, and it's nice to have that rain. I don't have to be out in the garden watering, which is kind of a little respite. We do have a watering system out there, automatic watering system, but it sometimes doesn't quite water enough if it's very windy out, because we're high desert up here. It kind of dries everything out really quick if you're not out there watching it. So okay, so we have our 2 4 patches there, and we're just going to set those aside. The next one we're going to do is going to take your charm piece and your backing fabric, and you're going to put them together just like that. Line the edges up carefully, and we're going to draw ourselves a diagonal line corner to corner here, and we're going to stitch on both sides of that line 1/4 inch. And again, like I said, you can chain piece these. You do not have to stitch them separately. You could just do a whole charm pack in no time at all and have it all whipped out. Okay, so this is our half square triangles, and we're just going to finger press those open. Now I'll take them to the iron real quick here and just give them a press. We had our first green beans out of our garden last night for dinner. It was so delicious. I boiled them up, and then I sauteed them in some garlic olive oil, and oh, they were so good. Okay, now I'm going to suggest, because everybody's seams are different, that you take a ruler and you see what size your 4 patch is. It should measure 4.5 inches, okay? That would be our ideal. So we want to trim these half square triangles down to 4.5 inches. You have a little bit of wiggle room on them, which I like, because that way everybody's seam allowances are different, and you get a perfect square when you do that. Square up your little bits. Okay. I have to stand up when I cut. I just can't get the leverage otherwise. So hopefully you can see all this. And what I do, you know, you've heard me talk about this before. I mark my rulers when I'm doing a lot of cutting with the tape, the clover tape. And that lets me see where I need to cut without having to play around a lot. Okay. And you want to make sure too that you're lining up on your diagonal when you're doing that, so that you keep your block straight. There we go. Okay, now we've got those pieces. Put this in the garbage. And the way this goes together, and there's lots of different variations, so you have fun with it. You can put your colored pieces all towards the middle if you like. You could turn it and put your sparkle pieces in the middle like that. You can turn these out and put your sparkle pieces like that. Or you could have this going like this. But I'm going to make all of mine like this. So there'll be a row of this sparkly fabric on the outside, a row on the inside, just like this. Yeah. Okay. Now, the easy part, you're going to sew this together just like a 4-patch, okay? So we're going to take these two pieces and we're going to put them together, and we will get them stitched 1/4 inch down that 1/4 inch seam down that side. And we'll do the same thing here. Okay. Now you're going to press your seams in opposite directions, okay? So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to press it like this. I'm just going to do a finger press real quick here for you. And this one, I'm going to do like this. And then we're going to flip them over. So our seams are going in opposite directions so that they're going to nest when we flip it over, okay? So this will go just like that. And then again, I like to put a pin in it. You don't have to. And my pin goes next to the seam, not in the seam, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch this together. And just like that, our block will be done. Okay. That's my cat coming down the stairs. Okay, so you can see by nesting our seams, we have a nice point that it comes to in the middle there. I will press this out for you. So we will have these line up like this in the quilt. Now on this one, I opened the middle seam out like this, and I rotated each of these seams. I spun the seams. On this one, I have opened the seams out here and here, and I will open this middle seam out as well. So I'll show you that. I'll press that real quick for you. You can do it either way you like. Let's see here. This. And there will be a little thread, because if you chain piece your block together, there'll be a little thread that you'll need to clip in the middle of the seam, but where your 4-patch seam comes together. Okay, let's see here. Give that a little press. Come on, fingers. There we go. So my cats like to sit and watch me sew. They just are mesmerized by it. So funny. We love our fur babies. Okay, then I'm going to give this a little best press. So you can see how fast this block goes together, and you're not gonna, if you chain piece this, you won't stop and press between each block and do all this nonsense, but I shouldn't say nonsense, it's not really nonsense. Okay, so different methods here. This is pressed open, seams are spun on the edges here. And this one, we've pressed these seams open to reduce the bulk, okay? So that is what that looks like. And you can see if you had several of these blocks, you could start making it go around and rotate, or you can go off in one direction. I'm going to be doing mine in one direction. I want that kind of stripy effect going across. So I think this is going to be a fun block. I hope you enjoy it, and we will have some more fun coming up this week. I'm going to work today on pulling fabrics for the complementary color class that we'll do this probably this week. It may be the first of next week. I don't know. It depends on how busy I get. I have a few things to attend to this week. So be watching for that, and we'll talk to you soon.